What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real. I'm live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Keeping It Real is your go-to show for personal and professional development, diving deep into fitness, public speaking, networking, and sometimes real estate. I appreciate you joining me today, whether live or on the replay. If you are watching live, though, say hello. This is a live show, so let's engage, let's connect. This isn't just a show. This is the start of a growing community. Together, we can build a space where like-minded individuals can connect, learn, and grow personally and professionally. What's next in your personal or professional journey? Comment below and let me know. Let's kick this journey off together. Hello, I'm Jason Harris, and I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, but maybe not this far south. Also known as Coach FitPro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. I'm the coach who talks the talk and walks the walk. I've been there, done that, and now I empower real estate professionals and entrepreneurs to take control of their nutrition and fitness without feeling overwhelmed by keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and keeping it real. Welcome to the weekly live broadcast, Keeping It Real. All right, I really got to update that video soon enough. Well, today we'll start with the core four of networking segment. After that, from Stagefright to Spotlight, the public speaking segment of the show. Then we'll get into fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. And then we'll finish up with the Real Estate Roundup segment. Let's get started. The core four of networking. All right, networking is an essential skill in both business and personal development. Wouldn't you agree? I hope you do. Today, my buddy Al and I are diving into expectations in networking and how mastering these 4 fundamentals, the core 4 of networking, can take your relationships, referrals, and results to the next level. Whether you're new to the game or sharpening your edge, this segment is all about turning contacts into connections and conversations into collaborations. Let's get into it. Please stand by while I cue up the video. The core 4 of networking series, we break down the key practices for building strong, lasting relationships. Have you ever heard of the core 4 of networking? I mean, do you even know what they are? Before I bring Al out from backstage, here's a short clip that will get you up to speed on what the core 4 are. What's up? I'm here with Al to give you guys another networking tip. We've given you 3 so far, and today we're going to give you a 4th. But before we do, let's recap. What's the first thing they got to do, Al?
Show up.
You got to be present and accounted for. What's the second thing?
Be yourself.
You be you, your authentic self, because nobody likes fake people. Not a good look. What's number 3?
Pay attention.
You got to do some active listening. You got to know what's going on. You don't want to stare into somebody's eyes and nod your head thinking about what you got to say next. Pay attention. And now that the recap's done, I think the 4th one's the most important. What do you think, Al?
Oh yeah, there's no point in doing all 3 if you don't do the 4th.
That's right. So why is the 4th so important, Al?
Because the fortune's in the FU.
What do you mean?
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Ah, that's right. Follow up. Don't have a conversation with somebody, take their business card, and then do nothing. Follow up. Speaking of following up, if you guys would like to hear more networking tips from Al and myself, comment more or yes, please underneath this video. And Al, what are we going to do after they make that comment?
Follow up.
Haha, that's right. See you guys later. All right, so I hope you guys understand what the core 4 of networking are, or have a better understanding of it. Each week I'll break down one of the core 4. Week 1, show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. Week 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Week 3, pay attention. The importance of listening and being fully engaged with others. And then the next week, Week 4 follow-up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. All right, that is the core four. In addition to breaking down the core four of networking, this segment will serve as a platform for local members of the networking organizations I'm part of, as well as other businesses and professionals that I network with. I'll also report on some local networking events that I attend. All right, let's bring Al out. Let me see. All right, let me fix this square here. All right, I like that view. How's that, Al? All right, how you doing, Al?
I'm doing well, Jason. How you doing?
Awesome, awesome. Can you please introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Albert Boy. I'm a financial advisor at Edward Jones. So I've been with Edward Jones for over 5 years, and I've been in the financial industry for over 33 years. And one of my top strategy is networking. So networking, I eat, sleep, and dream about networking. So that's what we're here for.
Awesome, thanks, Al. Yeah, Al is a member of multiple networking events. Everybody knows Al. When you go to a networking event, everybody knows Al. All right, so let's get into expectations as it relates to networking. Here's the first talking point: how show up and stay consistent. All right, simply being present can open doors to success. Attending one event won't yield immediate results. Building rapport and trust takes regular attendance. So, what do you think, Al? Showing up, huh? And stay consistent. I think there's some people out there that they just kind of show up to one or two, and that's pretty much it. And they expect something. Their expectations are out of this world.
Right. I mean, I felt that way in the beginning as well. But I see that a lot of people they say, oh, I'm gonna go check out this networking event. They go there, they get a little intimidated, whether it's going to be a small crowd or a big crowd. And when they get there, they meet one or two people, three people, maybe a handful, and then they don't find, in the beginning they just said, I don't think I got anything out. A lot of times is you have to go. The meaning showing up is you have to go to that even that same event that they hold once a month. You have to go there more than once or twice. It's networking is all about getting for people to know you, to see who you are and what you do. It's to build that relationship.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like dating, right?
Right.
You don't just ask for the business, right? Hey, will you marry me? You gotta know the person, or you got to spend time, and the only way to do that is to show up and like stay consistent, show up to more than one. Let, us go into this next talking point. So when you do show up, right, so here's another talking point: be yourself and focus on building relationships, like you were just talking about. People appreciate sincerity. Don't try to be overly polished or pushy. Just be yourself. Don't expect immediate business deals again, right? Networking is about creating connections that develop over time, and authenticity is the key. What say
Right.
you, Al?
Yeah. Yep. I bump into a lot of people, and when I see everyone wants to, you could say, let the other person know that they are someone that's not. Well, let me see how interesting this is. They try to be someone who are not themselves. Let's say I could say that, oh yeah, I do this, which is I'm exaggerating of what I really do. And sometimes is people can see right through you. They can tell, your story's changing all the time. A lot of times, just be yourself. You're here to just talk to someone and just to make a friend. And so when you go somewhere and say you're here to meet a friend, or like you said, dating, the first time you're on your first date, you're here to just say, hey, just be yourself. And talk to that person. Say, hey, what do you like to do? What do you do for fun? And things like that. It's just like you're dating, pretty much networking. How it comes to it.
Yeah, no, eventually, you got to be yourself, because eventually the real you is going to come out. So why not just lead with that? And like you were saying, Al, right? I mean, I haven't been networking as long as Al has, but I can see it when someone's being disingenuine or not authentic. You can see right through it. It's just it's a very thin veil. It's funny to see newbies do that. Even not even just newbies. Some others that aren't newbies do it too. But yeah, you can see right through it, and it's not attractive at all. Just be yourself. I think people get caught up in the whole I'm here to get business, and they're going about it with the wrong expectations is what I want to say. So that's why I'm glad we're talking about expectations today. So again, show up and then be yourself. So we got this other talking point here. uh, Show up, be yourself, then pay attention, right? Pay attention and bring value. Don't just take. Actively listen and be fully engaged with others. So, pay attention and then be prepared to offer something of value, maybe some advice, a resource, referrals, or maybe even an introduction to someone they're looking for, instead of just promoting your business. Ask, like, what are you looking for? Instead of, hey, I do this. What do you think about that, Al?
Oh yeah, definitely. My thing is, because I'm a financial advisor. One of my things that I do a lot is I listen. One of the most thing about networking, about building a relationship with someone is when you meet someone is to listen, is to stop talking and just listen. Because a lot of time is, and then when you do follow up, well, we'll talk more later on about that, but uh, people just want to, a lot of time people, they don't want to hear what you want to say, but they like to talk, say what they want to say. So a lot of time, if you pay attention, you listen to some of the things that person says, and then later on, you can repeat back what they said. They said you were listening, you know, and you weren't just, looking somewhere else. And later on, I asked you, so do you remember what I do? You go, oh, sorry, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad feeling when you're talking to somebody and that you had just met and you're having what you feel is an authentic conversation, and then all of a sudden they ask you a question of something you already answered or something like that. I mean, that's embarrassing enough for me to just active listen anyway because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person, so I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention for more than that reason, but that's a big reason to pay attention. Uh, all right, so the next thing I wanted to mention as a talking point. So stay open minded and manage your expectations. Again, a lot of new people. A lot of new people new to networking anyway. You may not meet your next client immediately, but you could meet someone who introduces you to them. That's happened to me many times. Or don't expect to walk away with dozens of leads. Sometimes one meaningful connection is more valuable than a stack of business cards. What do you think about
Right.
that, Al?
Oh yeah. I have a lot of people when I say, hey, I'm going to this networking event. Do you want to go check it out? I mean, it's usually pretty good. The first thing they ask is how many people are going to be there. I say it doesn't matter. Even if there's only five people and you only made contact, a good contact that night with two people, that's all you need. And I can tell you from last year, I had a killer year last year where I was networking about eight events every week. Not seeing my family till the weekend. So, but then I was actually getting two new clients out of every event that I went to. You know,
Wow.
and that's all you need. You don't need 100. You don't need 50. You just need that one or two. And if they like your service, they like what you do, they're gonna refer other people.
Exactly. No, I love that. Um, Expectations as far as new people coming in, all you do need is just one person. I mean, when I go to any networking event, I always have a minimum of I need to connect with at least one person because that's all it really takes is one person. And sometimes that's actually a few times that's all that has happened, and that one person has made a difference. And so yeah, don't worry about collecting all these business cards and getting all of these leads. But if you do, you might want to pay attention to our next talking point here. All you need is one. So the next talking point: follow up. The real impact often comes after the event. Like Al says, right? The fortune's in the FU and the follow up. Follow up meaningful conversations to turn a brief encounter into a lasting relationship. Follow up. What do you have to say about following up, Al?
Sure, and that's why all three steps that we've already talked about, and the follow up, why it's important to know all three, is when you do follow up with someone, the pay attention is really important. Is that's when you follow up with someone, then you can say, I remember you had a question about this, or you mentioned something about this. This is maybe somewhere something. So you find where somebody had told you the answer of what they're looking for. Maybe you can find someone in the network. Maybe it's not your business. Maybe somebody else that you can also refer that person to this new person you just met. So a lot of time is following up is you also during the meeting at the event is you could say, hey, is it all right if I follow up with you in a couple of days? I just want to learn more about what you do. Some, of course, anyone say, oh, you want to learn more? What I do? Yeah, okay, sure. You're not here selling your business. You're here to say, I'm here to learn more about you. People are more than happy to take your call. And you say, okay, I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to make sure that we're going to set up this call, set up a time, and you just go and just listen to what he says, and then you find out more.
Yeah, like we were talking about dating, right? You got to pay attention, and that's the other thing I wanted to bring back, the whole pay attention thing. Um, if you pay attention to somebody, like Al was saying, especially on the follow up, I've seen it before, and you bring something up that they didn't think you would remember, and it blows their mind. It really blows their mind, and it really does take the relationship to another level because people love to be heard and listened to. So that's huge. Pay attention for, especially those last two. Pay attention to follow up, but you need to show up anyway, right? And be your authentic self in order to carry everything through. Awesome, Al. Awesome. You have anything else to share as far as networking is concerned on this episode?
Uh, well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but the thing is, you just have to be there, um, and just be yourself.
Yeah, authenticity, man. That's huge. That's a major attractor right there. Is being authentic. All right, awesome. So I want to know from you at home, what's been the biggest networking challenge for you, and how have you overcome it? Or maybe you haven't yet, and we can talk about it on the show. Feel free to share your biggest networking challenges and how you overcome them. Again, like I said, or if you're still working on it, let us know in the comments. And then I'd love to hear your experiences and ideas. So if you are interested in being a guest on the show to dive deeper into your story, reach out. I'd love to have you. People would love to hear. Al, what's the best way for someone in the audience to connect with you?
They can either go through you, or they can, email me at albert.moy, that's MUI, jones.com.
Awesome. And again, you could also leave on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube a comment as well, and we'll follow up. See what I did there? All right. Thanks for joining me tonight, Al. Hope to see you on future episodes. Awesome.
Right,
All right. I'm going to put Al backstage here. And like I said, bear with me with this software here. Moving on to the next. All right. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think about the core four of networking, the expectations of networking like me and Al just talked about? Let me know in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. That wraps up today's networking success segment. But wait, here are a few action steps you can put into play right now. Show up to one in-person or virtual networking event this week. Be yourself. Practice introducing yourself with authenticity. Ditch the pitch. Bring the real you. Pay attention during your next interaction. Be fully present. Phones down, eyes up. And finally, follow up within 48 hours with a personal message or a simple, great meeting you. Remember, networking isn't about collecting cards, it's about creating value. When you lean into the core four, you're not just showing up, you're standing out. If today's networking success segment resonated with you at all, please drop a comment. I'd like to know. Next Monday is week 2, so the topic will be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Interested in being a guest on the show? Reach out. I'd love to have you. Let's do this. And if you catch me at a networking event, don't hesitate to pull me aside and let's make some on-camera magic happen. And don't be surprised if I ask you what the core four of networking are. Just saying. Next up is From Stagefright to Spotlight. From Stagefright to Spotlight is our comprehensive public speaking segment designed to help you master this crucial skill. Whether you're speaking to a large audience or just in front of a small group, even on Zoom, This segment of the show will give you the tools you need to shed the stage fright and step confidently into the spotlight. This segment of the show will also have guest appearances from some of my fellow Toastmasters. And if you don't know what Toastmasters is, I'm going to tell you right now. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills throughout a worldwide network of clubs. I belong to the Spirited Speakers Club out of Middleborough, Massachusetts, and we currently meet virtually on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. Stay tuned because at the end of this segment, I'll show you how you can visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting. All right. Today's From Stagefright to Spotlight segment stars special guests Bethany and Sean, and it's all about expectations as it pertains to public speaking and Toastmasters. All right, let's get into it. Please stand by while I cue up that video. Here it is. Enjoy. Let's bring them both out. Let's see here. We got Sean and we have Bethany. Perfect. So how are you both this evening?
Very well.
Doing great, Jason.
Awesome. Could you please introduce yourselves and let the audience know who you are and what you do? Go ahead, Bethany. Ladies first.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, like Jason said, I'm Bethany Hashway. I'm from Rhode Island, and I do run my own news website for the East Greenwich and Warwick area. I'm also the District 31 Public Relations Manager, and I'm a part of 3 Toastmasters groups: Spirited Speakers, Rhode Island Active Toastmasters, and Island Foghorns.
Awesome. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, so my name is Sean DeSilver. I have been in Toastmasters for over 16 years. I am also, like Bethany, a member of 3 Toastmasters group with Jason and Bethany. I am a member of Spirited Speakers. I also am a member and former president of the Fall River Innovators Toastmasters Club. And I also am a member, longtime member of Saturday Brunch Bunch. So
wow.
That's a little bit about my Toastmaster experience.
Yeah, these two have a lot more Toastmaster experience than I do, that's for sure. All right, so let's get into expectations as it relates to public speaking. Here's the first talking point. Expect to start small. Toastmasters is a supportive environment, so you'll begin with short, simple speeches to build confidence before tackling more advanced topics. What do you guys have to say about that? About starting
This is
small?
a great expectation to start with, because not a lot of people come to Toastmasters knowing what to expect. And the first trap that I think people fall into is thinking like, oh man, I'm going to have to do these speeches where I'm going to do a lot of research and have to spend a lot of time, crafting like what my speech is going to be about. And the reality is really, when you come to Toastmasters, we encourage you to speak about what you already know, because it's not about the subject matter that's important to us. It's about you practicing and building your confidence and learning the art of public speaking. So it's really, that's the first expectation. Don't expect that you're going to need to do a lot of research, a lot of writing. Just really, it's more about the practice, and it's more about talking about things you already know about. Is the best speeches. Those are the best speeches I hear.
What about you, Bethany?
I'm going to echo what Sean said too. And I'd also say take on the small roles. You don't have to jump into doing your icebreaker right away too, because that's the first speech. So start off with like being the timer, grammarian, the out counter. It will set your tone for the program.
So icebreaker, right? You mentioned icebreaker. For those that don't know, in Toastmasters, your very first one of the very first speeches that you do is called the icebreaker, and the icebreaker has to do anything to do with you that you want to convey to the club.
Exactly.
So it could be on anything, right, guys?
Yep, it's you introducing yourself to the club.
Awesome.
Yeah, not only just you about yourself, but also introducing the club to your interests.
Yes.
Right. So you can start small and just don't worry about doing all this research, or you have to, you got to do all these big speeches. It's really a self-paced type of environment, a very inviting place to practice. So It's perfect for public speaking, especially with people that have anxiety with public speaking. Next talking point: progress takes time. Public speaking is a skill that improves with practice. I can definitely attest to that. Don't expect to master it overnight, but consistent participation leads to noticeable growth. You guys want to speak on that? Progress takes time.
It does take time. When I first started in Toastmasters, I was back in 2012. I was so scared. I was like holding on to the lectern because we met in person prior to COVID. I was gripping onto the table. I was so nervous, but now I don't have that fear of it, of like having to hold on and like I could be in front of my audience. So for me, I've gained confidence out of Toastmasters.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no, I have to agree with that. And actually, it was really interesting watching the previous section with Keon and Casey and thinking about this, that just like in weight loss, where it's not going to happen overnight, it's progress. You're going to take 2 steps forward and then maybe take 1 step back. That the same is true in public speaking. You're going to give, some people come out right out of the gate and give like great speeches and think that they're, hey, I've already mastered this. I've gotten such incredible feedback. But then they give a speech and they feel like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't so good. That one. Don't give up at that point. Those speeches are the ones where you're going to get the real feedback that is going to help you move even further forward.
And it's funny how you mentioned feedback. That's the next talking point too. But yeah, no, Sean, you're right. Progress. I mean, it is kind of like fat loss. It takes time. You got to be consistent in it and slowly get more confident. And like Bethany did, it's just time. Got to do the reps like anything else in life. Talking point about feedback. Feedback is constructive. I love Toastmasters for this, for feedback. I'll take a speech or something that I want to maybe do in a networking group, like my spotlight. I did that for one of my spotlights, and I practiced it inside of my Toastmaster club as one of my speeches, and they gave an evaluation, and I was able to improve it and redo it and fix it. It was awesome. So feedback is constructive. Be prepared for regular feedback from peers. It's designed to help you improve, not critique your personality or message. You guys want to talk more about feedback in Toastmasters?
This is another one.
Sean
of the things
I'm sorry. Sean is like the master when it comes to like evaluation feedback. Oh man, I'll tell you.
I love it. This is one of the reasons I fell in love with Toastmaster, is because of the feedback. And it's, people get, again, expectations, thinking like, oh man, I have to be so great at this, and they see someone like me who's been doing it for years and thinking like, wow, how did you get to be so good? One, it's about practice. I practiced a lot of giving people feedback, but number two, it's understanding the basics. In Toastmasters, when we're giving people feedback, it's about 2 things. One, making you aware of the things you're already good at, so that it reinforces, keep those positive behaviors going. And then 2, just giving you one thing, because in any part of life, if you're trying to do more than one thing at a time, you're probably not going to succeed. So we give you one action item, one thing that you can take away to grow for your next speech. And that's really the basic formula of giving an effective evaluation or giving back feedback. Is, what did you do well? What can you do to work on for your next speech? Or, and then we like to end with like, hey, this is what I always like to end with. This is what I really liked about your speech, and giving it that personal touch, and saying like, hey, this is what I enjoyed. And so I think that's the best type of feedback to get.
I agree. What about you, Bethany? What do you have to say about feedback in Toastmasters?
I agree too. And the feedback helps me to improve my future speeches. Like, I think last week I did a speech for my in-person group, and one of my improvements was to bring up a slide so they could see the visual of whatever I feel like it was on my level 2 that I was doing, understanding your leadership style. They said they would like the visual next time. So that was a good feedback to incorporate for my next speech when I give that again.
Yeah, it's all about improving what you have done. and through feedback from your peers. And Toastmasters allows you to do that. Unlike any other place, it's awesome because it's structured as well like that. Another talking point, you'll learn by listening. This is a good one. You'll learn by listening too. Toastmasters meetings involve listening to other speakers, which helps you learn different speaking styles, approaches, and techniques. Kind of helping networking for paying attention too, I think.
It does. And I think having that listening role that we have in our club too helps. We also have that in my island Foghorns because you're paying attention more to what everyone is saying.
Yeah, you guys want to explain the listening to the audience at home? The
Yes.
listener role?
If you don't know what the listener or quizmaster role is, but I know some clubs call it the quizmaster, but it's a role you can take where you jot down notes, and then you, at the end of the meeting, you ask the club members different questions throughout the meeting, like what was the joke of the day, because we always start off too with a joke, or what was someone's speech that they talked about. So it's just a fun little role that clubs do.
Awesome. I love listener role. It helps me in business when I'm having a business meeting with somebody, say via Zoom or what have you, or even in person, and I take notes. And to be able to listen and take notes at the same time, the listener role really helps out with that in Toastmasters. So everything bleeds out into personal and professional development.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say that the listener role is a great role to start with to help you practice for giving other people feedback, because honestly, people say, like, what's the hardest part of giving somebody feedback? It's the listening. You got to listen and be able to take those notes at the same time. So listening is huge. It's probably one of the most important parts of being able to give effective feedback, as I call it. If you're not listening, if you're not paying attention with both your ears and your eyes, because also watching what the speaker is doing, then you can't give that feedback to help them to grow and to understand what they're already doing well.
Yeah, and what Sean was talking about as far as listening with your eyes as well. In Toastmasters, we pay attention to body language and facial expressions and stuff like that in the speeches too, because that it's part of our communication as human beings, right? And that's what Toastmasters is about, a big part of it. So yeah, listening is awesome on there. So another talking point, you don't have to be perfect. Toastmasters encourages improvement over perfection. Mistakes and nerves are expected, and the environment is designed to help you overcome them. Again, it's an inviting environment. It's not people making fun of you and all. The majority of people in the club have had or have anxiety about public speaking, and everybody's in the same boat, which is awesome. And it's such a supportive environment. Everybody comes there with things. Well, most people come there with anxiety, and it's just, it completely, I've heard people's stories in Toastmasters where their anxiety and everything is completely turned around solely because of the environment that they're practicing in the Toastmaster Club. It's crazy. What do you guys have to say about having to be perfect?
You don't have to be perfect. I know for me, if I don't give a speech in a while, I feel like I've gone back a few steps. So always keep up with the program too.
And yeah, don't be a perfectionist.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Quick story on that. When I first joined Toastmasters, we had in the educational program 10 speeches that you needed to give. It's changed a lot now, but I got through the first 9 pretty relatively quickly. But that last speech, I kept delaying month after month. I think it took me like 9 months to finally get into that last speech. And people kept asking me, like, what's stopping you? What's stopping you from getting to do that last speech? And I was like, I don't feel like it's perfect. And somebody had to really get me to convince me to say, it doesn't need to be. Were all your other speeches perfect? So I had to break that mindset of don't need to be perfect. You just gotta practice. And then ever since then, I just, again, like Bethany, try to get in speeches, even if I haven't practiced outside of the meeting a lot. That's okay. The speech in the meeting is practice. So I give speeches off the cuff. Don't even could throw me a topic now. I probably could give a 5 to 7 minute speech on
Well, speaking of, might as well bring up expectations of joining a Toastmaster club, I guess, right? So we might as well bring up table topics and just talk about that real quick and what it is.
Yep. So table topics is impromptu speaking, where you do not know the question, but the table topics master will ask you a question.
And then you have to answer it in 1 to 2 minutes
Yes.
on your toes. So ask the question, you don't even know what it is, and you just got to go, and you're timed.
Yeah. Table topics is a great skill for practicing if you ever feel uncomfortable, like answering a question like in a meeting. Like if you feel like, oh yeah, I'm that person that somebody asks a question in a meeting and I immediately slump down in my chair, come to Toastmasters, participate in table topics. It will help you build that confidence in being able to do that.
It will definitely build that impromptu muscle for sure.
Yes. And always pause too before you answer the question. I always find that helps too with anything as well.
I agree. So roles beyond speaking. In addition to giving speeches, you'll also take on roles. We heard of listener, but we heard evaluator as well, and Sean's an awesome evaluator. Timekeeper or meeting host, which develop leadership and critical thinking skills. So beyond the speaking, there's actually leadership roles you can take within the club.
Yeah,
You guys wanna talk about
absolutely.
that?
There's the meeting roles, but then there's also every club has their own leadership. So officer roles. There's like Bethany's involved in our district, so there's roles outside of the club. This people usually come to Toastmasters, I say, for the communication, but they stay for the leadership because there's so many opportunities to build on leadership skills. And honestly, because of Toastmasters, I'm in the position I have today as a manager. It really helped me not only build my ability to communicate with my peers and with associates, but also those leadership skills you need to effectively grow in any position.
No, that's awesome. That's right. There's different roles or officer roles within the club, and like Sean was mentioning, and Bethany, there's also roles outside of the club within like district level, and there's just different levels that you can be. Like I'm the president of the club this year, and then I'm also on the district marketing chair on the club growth team, which is outside of the club. It's a leadership role outside of the club. And then Bethany as well has leadership outside the club, the public relations manager. And then Sean, are you doing anything outside the club these days? You've been like everything.
I've done a lot. I've done a lot outside the club, and I always am the first person that if an opportunity shows up will be happy to raise my hand and help out, because again, it's all about the opportunities. If you have a passion to learn something more about networking or organizing events or what, if you can think about it, we probably can find you something in Toastmasters to help us to grow the organization and to learn at the same time.
No, absolutely. And then builds confidence in all settings. So beyond formal speeches, you'll become more comfortable in meetings, like we talked about earlier, interviews, and everyday conversations as well, not just on stage. So this experience at Toastmasters, I could definitely attest to it. Definitely has helped me out outside of Toastmasters, personally and professionally, in conversations with individuals. Absolutely. What about you guys?
I'm going to attest to that too. Even doing my own news stuff, doing my interviews, it helps me as well, talking to people, just starting off that conversation. And I don't think years ago I would have started talking to people, just going up but now I'm like so comfortable with it.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize or know that a lot of seasoned people in these clubs they started off really quiet and a lot of anxiety, and they're not the same people. Toastmasters has built up so much confidence in these people that they're just totally different people now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen so many people come through Toastmasters and just they start off with just so little confidence. They were like hiding in the corner of the room, just listening, soaking it in, and then after like a few months, that's all it takes. It's just a few months to just see that turnaround and that change in their confidence. I have one member in one of my clubs right now in Fall Rivers who his first couple of speeches, you could barely hear him. It was like, was that? Now he's speaking more clearly, more audible. He's still not the most loudest person in the room, but you can definitely tell that his confidence is slowly going. And he's only been with the club for, I want to say, 6 months maybe. But again, to come from where he started from that very like shy person, could barely like project, to now being able to project, it does. But it all starts with listening to your peers and not being afraid to step up and practice.
I see a common theme this evening with all of these segments. You want to kind of stand on the shoulders of giants, of people that have been there before or that have tons of experience, because it's just going to do nothing but help you out and springboard you quicker into progress than they even had, because of them sharing their experiences and whatnot.
And in Toastmasters too, you do get a mentor who will help you as well throughout everything, like a coach. They'll be there to support you. You can bounce ideas off of them about speeches.
Yeah, and you don't go into Toastmasters alone. I mean, the environment is supportive enough to not have a mentor, but that mentor piece actually, and I had a mentor, and it really helped out as far as the structure of how Toastmasters works and whatnot, and just the organization itself, the inner workings, and a little bit of the history of it and whatnot. But it's awesome that they assign you a mentor to help you go through it. It just makes the experience that much better. But no, that's awesome. So one other thing about Toastmasters, a talking point I wanted to mention before we go, is you set your own pace. Whether you want to ease into public speaking or challenge yourself quickly, Toastmasters let you control your own progression and goals.
Yeah,
so that's
absolutely so true. It's a learn at your own pace. Basically, we tell people that all the time. You can come and in a few months just try and do as many speeches, which I've seen people do. Come in, first 3 months, give like a dozen speeches and really progress fast. Then I've seen people that are like, it's 6 months and they still haven't given their first speech.
Take the listener role for 6 months or whatever.
They take on smaller roles, their listener, timer, other roles that just help them to build their confidence, little bit of table topics every now and then until, and then eventually, though, you get there with a good mentor, with a supportive group, you will eventually feel like, all right, I'm ready to at some point give that first speech. And then once you get past that first hurdle, you just want to keep going. And that's
that.
That's the thing. We have a very extensive educational program, and then if you follow it and you keep going through the projects and reading up on the subject of public speaking and taking advice from your peers and practice, you can go at your own pace as fast as you want. It's whatever you feel comfortable with.
No pressure
at all. And like you said, setting your own pace, you also set your own topics too. No one's going to give you a topic to talk about. You come up with your own speeches. And how I get started too with doing my speeches is I do things that interest me outside of Toastmasters. Like I talk about my work, my yoga. I'm talking about citizens police groups classes I've taken. They're fun to talk about as well.
That's the awesome part too, is like, again, it's your own pace, and it's whatever you want to talk about. You're never pressured or, expected to do anything that you don't want to do. It's perfect. So again, we belong to they belong to a couple other clubs too, but we all belong to the Spirited Speakers Club out of Middleborough, Massachusetts. And again, we currently meet virtually right now so that means if you're in a different state, even, you can come and check us out. We currently meet virtually on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month. Hey, and if you do end up visiting us at our club virtually and you're in a different state and you wanted more information on a club that's near you, because I'm sure there is, we can hook you up. But at least, you met us already, I guess, and we'll welcome you to visit our club. Absolutely. So if you want to ever visit a virtual meeting to see what it's all about, comment Spirited, and I'll get you the meeting link. I hope to see you there. Bethany, Sean, thanks for being part of the show tonight, and I hope that I'll see you on future episodes. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for anyone interested on reaching out to me, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. I've got a YouTube account too. So definitely happy to talk with anyone anytime about public speaking and leadership.
And same here too. I'm on Facebook. I do all the social media websites.
Yeah. And if you guys want to get a hold of them and you can't, just get a hold of me and I will shoot you over their contact info right away. Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right. So what you guys think? I don't see any comments. Crickets. All right. I'll continue. If today's conversation sparked your curiosity, take the next step. Get involved in Toastmasters. And speaking of the next step in getting involved in Toastmasters, my next virtual Toastmaster meeting is coming up. The next meeting will be this Wednesday, April 9th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to experience a virtual meeting, see what it's all about, comment Spirited, and I'll share the link with you. Don't miss out. Again, comment Spirited, and I'll share the meeting link with you this Wednesday from 7 to 8:30 p.m. When you log into the meeting, don't be scared. Feel free to sit back and observe from the sidelines. We'll make you feel welcome, but participation is optional. No pressure, just relax and enjoy the experience, and I hope to see you there. All right, next up. Next up is fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. Each week, I alone or with a guest will break down a specific pillar to help you build a sustainable and balanced fitness routine. Week 1, we'll talk about Pillar 1, nutrition habits. Master your nutrition and fuel your body for success. Week 2, Pillar 2, stress management. Practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Week 3, Pillar 3, physical activity. Tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. And then Week 4, Pillar 4, we'll cover recovery measures. Recovery is key. Learn the best ways to rest, recharge, and avoid burnout both in and out of the gym. This is the first Monday of the month. Welcome back. So our focus will be on Pillar 1, nutrition habits. Master your nutrition and fuel your body for success. Today, we'll tackle an essential skill, how to read nutrition facts labels. All right. Understanding these labels is crucial for making informed choices that support your goals. Before we jump into the previously recorded segment, here are 3 actionable takeaways to keep in mind. Number 1, know your serving size. Always check the serving size to understand how much you're consuming. Number 2, be fat savvy. All right. Look out for saturated and trans fats to keep your heart healthy. Number 3, sugar awareness. Watch for added sugars in the carbohydrate section to maintain your energy levels and avoid crashes, not to mention diabetes. Let's get started on this enlightening journey. Let me roll the tape. What should I pay attention to on a nutrition facts label? All right, let me bring that up and let's break this down. Give me just a second to get this graphic up for you guys. Okay, let me move this over here. I'll be right with you. Share this. All right, and let me get rid of this so you can see. All right, so here we have a blacked out nutrition facts label. And we're going to go through 3 labels real quick here, okay? So the first thing is the serving size, okay? Their serving size, the nutrition facts, the serving size. And he's excited to look at the nutrition facts, but then when he sees what a serving size is, he's like, I eat like 10 of those. How could that be one serving size? You know, that doesn't work. So this is a good thing to pay attention to here. Okay, is the serving size. On the serving size, you have 2 tablespoons, and it usually gives you a cup or a tablespoon or some measurement like that, and then it gives you the grams, the amount of grams of the product. And then you also see calories and calories from fat. All right. The next thing to look for on the nutrition label, besides the serving size, because you're going to know what you're paying attention to and how many servings are in a container, you want to know what you're dealing with the serving size. All right. The next thing is the fat. It's usually broken that you always have total fat on a nutrition label, total fat, which is 16 grams here. But then you also, they don't always state all of these other categories of fat. These first 2 are a harmful fat, saturated fat and trans fat. Your body does need some saturated fat, so you don't want to have 0, but you also don't want to supplement with it either, or you don't want to have too much of it. But saturated fat and trans fat are the labeled as the unhealthy fats. Polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. Polyunsaturated is omega-3 like fish oil, walnuts, salmon, fish, some things like that. And then monounsaturated omega-6 you'll find in like olive oil, things like that. So polyunsaturated, monounsaturated are actually healthy fats as well. So these are things to look for also on a nutrition fact label. The next thing that's of importance here on the nutrition fact label is carbohydrates. And carbohydrates is broken down a couple of different ways a lot of times, but this label happens to, they always have total carbohydrates. Then you have dietary fiber. That's fiber that your body does not digest. Okay, so that term net carbs, I don't know if anybody's heard of that term net carbs. Okay, that's the total carbohydrates minus the dietary fiber, because you don't digest that dietary fiber. So there's 4 grams of net carbs in this actual product, just as a little a bonus for you. And then you have sugars, or you would have added sugars. Added sugars you have to watch out for. You don't want to get many added sugars in your diet and what you eat on a daily basis. So that's total carbohydrates right there. And the next thing to look out for is protein. Protein here, okay, 7 grams in this particular label. So that is one type of nutrition label. They come in different forms, and I'll show you briefly real quick here a couple of the other ones. This one here, okay, here's the serving size. It happens to be a bar. This happens to be a Cliff bar, by the way. Serving size, 1 bar, which you'll see it's more like a candy bar. Okay, total fat or fat is 5 grams, and you have the unhealthy fats here, but they don't show you the healthy fats. And then we have total carbohydrates, all right, and then you get the dietary fiber. That's an awful lot of carbohydrates in that bar. And here we look, this is broken down a little different. So you have dietary fiber, and you have sugars, and you have insoluble fiber and other carbs. They just break it down differently. And then of course protein is here. So this nutrition label, all it is just, it's horizontal instead of vertical. Okay, the next one that we have is one that you'll normally see. It's horizontal, and it's all words. Okay, pretty much words and numbers. There's no grid on it. All right, so here, servings and serving size. Serving size, 1 cookie. This happens to be a cookie. Total fat it gives you. Here's your saturated fat and your trans fat, which are your bad fats, your harmful fats. And then total carbs, fiber, total sugars, added sugars. This is what you got to look for, added sugars. So the sugars are actually 9 grams, but the 9 grams are added. And then you have protein here. So these are just a couple of different ways to a couple of different nutrition labels and how to read them and what to pay attention to. If you guys have any other questions on the nutrition labels, please submit it to me. You can put it in the comment section here and I will look at it.
How to read nutrition fact labels. To recap, the 4 things that you should pay attention to are, number 1, the serving size. Remember, they start off with cups, tablespoons, measurements like that, and then there's always in parentheses tells you the grams or amount of grams of the product. Serving size, pay attention to that. Number 2, total fat. Watch out for high amounts of saturated fat and trans fat. 3, total carbohydrate. Watch out for high amounts of added sugars and sugars in general. Number 4, protein. Got to get that protein in, guys. Typically for a female, anywhere from 25 to 35 grams per serving. And for a guy, anywhere between 45 to 55 grams per serving. Just a general rule of thumb. If you guys have any questions at all about reading these nutrition fact labels or anything to do with any of these macros like protein, carbs, or fat, you can always direct message me.
All right. Excuse me. I'm real thirsty. Anyhow, so yeah, like the video was saying, if you guys have any questions on how to read nutrition fact labels or anything that I talked about in the video, just go ahead and leave a comment, or you can message me, or any questions you have on nutrition in general or fitness. So that wraps up our insightful discussion on reading nutrition fact labels. I hope you found these tips enlightening and that you're now equipped to make smarter nutrition choices while you're at the grocery store. Remember, mastering your nutrition is just the first step towards achieving your ultimate fitness goals. As we continue to explore the 4 pillars of achievement, I encourage you to take these insights and apply them today. What are you waiting for? If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your network. And don't forget to stay tuned every Monday, well, every first 4 Mondays of the month anyway, for more valuable content. Together, we can transform our health and unlock our full potential. That wraps up today's Fitness Success segment. Next Monday is week 2, so we'll be discussing Pillar 2, that's stress management, practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Are you interested in being a guest on the show or joining the conversation? Maybe you want to have your question answered on the next show. All you got to do is ask. All right. Comment below and we will make it happen. Leave a message if you want. Message me. I'll answer your question on the next show. Now, let's move on to the final segment for today. The Real Estate Roundup segment. It keeps you updated on the latest in the real estate world, whether you're interested in residential or commercial. This segment's got you covered. I'll invite guest experts on from time to time to share insights and discuss the subjects that you want to hear about in the real estate industry. If you didn't already know, I'm with Jay Nuss Realty Group. And let me show you let me put us on the screen. There we go. Let me do it like this. Pardon me. I just moved stuff around. Let's use this one. Here we go. I can't be in front of Jay. Hold on. Let me move this stuff. Let's do it that way. Okay. We are a commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm out of Braintree, Massachusetts, servicing all of Eastern Massachusetts. We happen to specialize in commercial real estate transactions, including sales and leases. And we also consult on a variety of commercial real estate related matters, including, but not limited to, nonprofits, religious or otherwise, potentially environmentally compromised properties. You got any 21E issues, you gotta let us know. And also we consult on transit-oriented development as well. Other services include commercial lease audits. And if you or anyone you know owns a commercial property and wants to know its worth on the current market, we can do a commercial broker opinion of value for you. So if you or someone you know is in need of a commercial real estate professional, please contact us directly or comment under this video and we will follow up. All right. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we also work with residential real estate brokers. So if you're a residential agent or broker in need of commercial expertise, to get the deal closed, please don't hesitate to contact us for assistance. We'll gladly help you out. What real estate topics spark your curiosity the most? Residential, commercial, or something else entirely different? You got to let me know so I talk about it on this show. I'd really appreciate it if you shared your thoughts in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, your input is just as valuable. Your feedback will guide me in creating future content. Thank you very much. Keeping it moving. Thanks for joining me for another episode 25 of Keeping It Real. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And every week we'll dive into important topics that will help you grow. Helps me grow too, explaining it to you. With a mix of fun and practical advice, from nutrition habits to real estate, public speaking skills to networking strategies. This show is designed to inspire you and, of course, keep it fun. Today, in the Core 4 of Networking segment, Al and I dove into expectations in networking and how mastering the Core 4 of networking can take your relationships, referrals, and results to the next level. Then in the public speaking segment of the show, From Stagefright to Spotlight, Bethany, Sean, and I talked about expectations as it pertains to public speaking and Toastmasters. I also shared how you can visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting. It's coming up this Wednesday on the 9th. So if you want to be a part of that, comment Spirited and I'll send you the meeting link so you can link up. In the fitness success segment, we tackled the essential skill of how to read nutrition fact labels. It's an important skill. Then lastly, in the real estate roundup segment, I told you about the services of my commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm, Jay Nuss Realty Group. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please leave a comment and let me know what you enjoyed. And if you didn't enjoy something, let me know that too. All feedback is welcome. If you arrived after we started, or if you missed any details, don't worry about it. You can always check out the replay. Before we end today's show, I have one last thing to share. Every show will end on a high note with a funny meme or short, hilarious video to keep you smiling. All right. So please stand by for this week's fight. I thought it was hilarious anyway. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you for more Keeping It Real. Be sure to leave your comments, share your thoughts, and don't hesitate to get involved. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep it real. See you next week on Monday, April 14th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you next time.
I know everybody a go lie. I know everybody a go lie. Success don't come overnight. No make you know a substance over hype.